Hey everybody, this is Chris at Reptiles. Thank you for joining me once again. Anyways, today I'm going to do a short video for you guys, a bonus video about the truth of ASF rats. And those who don't know what an ASF rat is, that's an African soft-furred rat. A lot of ball python breeders keep them, breed them, and use them to feed their ball pythons, especially because ball pythons are very picky. Today I'm going to talk to you about some pros and cons of having them and raising them. I do breed them. I'm pretty new to those. I've actually bred rats for over a year. At first, you can watch my other videos, I had a hard time with them. I had someone actually show me and help me out how to change their food, I changed their diet, and now they're breeding very well. Now, so some of the cons, let's be upfront with the cons of ASF rats. They do not breed as fast as a Norwegian rat or a fancy rat, whatever you want to call it. They probably breed, I'd say half as fast as a normal fancy rat. So if you have a large collection, you're going to probably need a larger collection of ASF rats. Number two, they protect their young. They're not mean, they're just protective. So if you put your hands in there when they have babies, they will bite you. I've been bit by the other rats, the Norwegian or the fancy rats I have. It's usually when they're very distressed, it bit me, and that's probably the worst bite I've ever received by a Norwegian rat. It got his tail caught in something, and I was trying to get out, and it obviously he went crazy and bit me. Now ASF rats, I've been bit and hard too. They don't play around. They bite to hurt you. I just put my hand in there, try to move around. They came up and just started biting my fingers and left blood. A lot of times I'll actually wear gloves. I have some gloves that I use for the snakes, for babies and stuff. I don't want to get bit. I use a glove. I mean, not that I'm afraid to get bit by snakes. I've been bit by snakes a million times, but I just find it easier just to wear a pair of gloves with baby snakes because they like to bite. Anybody who's bred snakes before will know that hatchlings are prone to bite. So I wear some leather gloves that their teeth can't get through. And I've been doing that with the ASF rats. Number three, they're escape artists. If there's a way to escape, they will. I actually lost a colony. They got out in my room. Sounds bad, but I had to let my cat go in there and kill him because I couldn't find him because I don't want rats running around my house. They're hard to find if they get out, and they're escape artists. And if there's a place to chew, they will chew through it. They chew way more than your Norwegian rats. And if there's a little hole or something they can start chewing, they will. The fourth con is they're hard to catch. Like, so you're putting them into your cages for your ball pythons. I do feed my ball pythons live. I've had other videos about this. I know this is not really a loved practice, but unfortunately with ball pythons, they do eat better if you give them live. At this point in time, I'm still trying to build up my ASF colonies, but I am feeding off males because I don't need that many males. Right now I'm building 1 male to 3 female colonies. I haven't sold any females. I haven't fed off any females. I've been keeping them all. When I get all my racks full with colonies, then I'll start feeding them off. Same thing I did with my Norwegian rats. I started out with 10 rats and then I bred them up and I kept all my females, fed off some males, and then when I got all my tubs filled up, my colony, I started feeding off females, and then keep some back and rotating some of the old ones out because they will get to a place where they can't breed anymore. You usually can tell, well, I usually mark my tubs, but you usually can tell because they'll start having less and less babies. Another con 5, is that they are not friendly with other colonies. So if you want to build up another colony, you say you have like 1 male and 3 females, you want to say you want to add some more females to that colony, what you do is let them breed and you keep some of the females in there. If you put females from other colonies in there, they will attack each other. Now, if a female's never bred before and the male's never bred, I've actually had success putting them in other colonies. But if you take just a sexual mature female from a different colony and put them all together, they will kill each other. They are not friendly. That is another big con of the ASF rats. So whatever colony you have to let it grow up, not just put them in there. Like with my Norwegian rats, I move males around like crazy. Every 2 weeks, I move the males over to different females. Don't have no problem with that. These guys, I cannot do that. I keep the males in there all the time. So that is a con, but that's just what it is. Here's the pluses of ASF rats. First of all, they don't smell. And that is not just a saying, they do not smell it. I mean, I've let them go 3 weeks without changing bedding. I was doing it as an experiment. I wasn't trying to hurt the animal, but I was just trying to see how far I can go without any smell. And I'm not being gross, but I can actually put my nose inside that bedding and not smell any feces, no urine. They do not smell. And that's a plus because Norwegian rats, their urine smells, and you have to change your cage about every 5 to 7 days. I use a thing called PDZ. It allows me to probably go 7 days, and I also put pellets in there. Wood pellets, it soaks up the urine, keeps the smell down a lot, but still 7 days is about the far as you want to go, otherwise your room will reek. Even with a vent going and I got a carbon filter going, they stink, period. ASF rats do not do that, and that is the biggest plus I can say. Number 2, they are higher protein for your animal. So this is actually proven. This is not because what I say. They are higher protein. There's a lot of videos about this, how they actually, even though they're smaller, they're actually better for your animals. They're better for your ball pythons. It's actually more like what they eat in the wild. So a smaller ASF rat is healthier and gets more nutrition than a medium rat. 3, they're easy to keep. What I mean by that is they don't take near as much water. They don't take near as much food. Right now, I buy a 25-pound bag of Missouri, which costs me about 25 bucks. And I know it's kind of expensive, it sounds like. That 25-pound bag, I have a pretty good sized colonies. I have a couple racks full of these guys, and that bag lasts me easily 2 weeks right now. If that was the Norwegian rats, that would not last me that long. I go through probably right now about 2 bags a week of Missouri for my Norwegian rats. Obviously I have more Norwegian rats, but if I had the same amount, the Norwegian rats would definitely take more food. The water situation on all my Norwegian rats, fancy rats, whatever you want to call them, I have a bucket system, a watering system that gives them their water, comes down to a nipple, they drink out of that, and about every 2 to 3 days I go in there and I top off the buckets. On the ASF rats, I just use the little water bottles. It's because they drink less water. I let the water bottles go for a week, no problem, but I do check them the same time I check my Norwegian rats. So they drink less, they eat less, and I'll tell you right now that ASF rats need higher protein. They did not breed at all for me until I gave them higher protein. Once I gave them that higher protein, they started breeding prolifically. Now, do they breed as much as the Norwegian rats? No, but they are definitely sustainable. They breed all the time. Another plus is they are like the Norwegian rats. If you have, say, a mother that's sick or can't nurse, you can actually give them babies from another litter. They will take care of other babies. Now, once they get to a sexual maturity, they'll kill each other. I know that's one of the other cons I talked about. I've had that plenty of times where the female had too many, and I gave them to other females, other colonies, and they do just fine. At least from my experience, I've never had them kill other people's babies. They will do fine as long as they're babies. And but if you put, say you have an adult and you put some other adults with them, I've had them kill each other. Okay, so pro number 4 is they take up less room. You can get the smaller rack system. They actually prefer smaller spaces, so you can get away with a smaller cage. 3 to 1 male. You can like go to, say you want to get a freedom breeder rack. I can get the big racks. I mean the ones that hold like 72. I have that whole thing where, like, if I bought the one for the Norwegian rats, it's about 32 cages, and obviously I think with those 32 cages you probably get probably just as much babies because of the way they breed, but it's just the fact that you can get away with smaller rooms. So if you have less room, and you have like, you want to build yourself some racks, you can use smaller tubs. If you have a place where you have less room to breed these rats, that's definitely a plus for you. Number 5, this is a big plus too in my book. They do very well in a reptile room, and the reason is they really like that heat. I keep my reptile room from anywhere from 73 to 75. It kind of fluctuates in temperature. I know people that keep theirs up higher, but I don't, because it's already bad enough I have to wear tank tops and shorts when I go in there and clean. Some people keep it up to 80, 78. I like to keep mine around that temperature because I still let my racks do the work. I never had no drops of temperature. It works good for me. So that's great, is that you can have them in your reptile room. They don't stink, and also they can take very little space. So if you have extra room there, just even get make a small rack or buy a small freedom breeder rack, and you're golden. So here's the deal. If you are in the rat business and you're trying to sell rats to other people, I would definitely recommend Norwegian rats. They're going to produce more babies, and you're going to have more inventory to sell to people. So like if people want pinkies, they want fuzzies, they want rat pups, they want large, small. Norwegians are the ones that you want. So if you're doing this to sell your rats, definitely go with Norwegians. We also breed certain higher end fancy rats too. We do like some of the Siamese and stuff and sell them here on Craigslist just for some extra money too. If you have a collection of ball pythons or say king snakes and you're trying to feed them and you're looking for a low cost option, ASF rats is the way to go. And I look at you right in the eyes right now, that's the way to go. My goal is for my ASF rats to feed all my ball pythons, my king snakes, my colubrids, all my pythons, carpet, spotted, all the above, and just use my Norwegians to sell. If you're trying to sustain a healthy colony to feed your ball pythons or your snake collection, I would definitely choose ASFs. That's my opinion. It's what I've experienced in the last year. I'm not just saying this, but that's the truth. Anyways, guys, if you wouldn't mind checking out some of my other videos, I'll have some right there. I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you guys would subscribe. Anyways, guys, I love you. I appreciate you guys' support. I'll see you next time.